E-way bill is an electronic document which is required under the GST system when the goods are moved from one place to another. It gives details regarding the movement of goods and has to be carried by transporters for any consignment exceeding Rs 50,000. E-way bill mechanism is put in place to ensure that goods are transported in accordance with GST laws, and tax is paid for the supply of goods. Every e-way bill generated is automatically updated in the GSTR1 form of the supplier. The e-way bill can be generated in the e-way bill portal by the taxpayer, transporter and the citizen of India. Through e-way bill dealers, transporters and tax officers all work within a unified system, hence conforming to the unique selling proposition, USP, of goods and services tax, i.e. one nation, one tax, one market. This presentation will help the users in understanding the various options available in the main menu of the e-way bill system and the usage of these options from user perspective. To begin with, user has to access the e-way bill portal by opening the URL https://e-waybills.gov.in and login into the e-way bill system with his credentials. Once the user is logged in, the system will display the main menu of the e-way bill system with these options. 1. E-way bill. This option has following sub-options. Generate new. This sub-option is used by the user for generating the new e-way bill. Generate bulk e-way bills. It is used to generate e-way bills in bulk. That is, user can generate multiple e-way bills in one go to reduce large amount of data entries and save time, provided that user has all the details in a JSON file format. Update Part B vehicle. It is used to update vehicle number of the e-way bill. Update vehicle bulk. It is used to update vehicle details in bulk for multiple e-way bills in one go, provided that user has all the details in a JSON file format. Change to multi-vehicle. This option allows the user the facility for split movement of one consignment of one e-way bill using multiple means of transport. Using this sub-option, user will be able to ship the goods to destinations through multiple modes of transport using the single e-way bill. Extend validity. It is used to extend the validity period of e-way bill. Update EWB transporter. It is used to update the transporter ID in e-way bill generated earlier. Update EWB trans bulk. It is used to update transporter IDs in bulk for multiple e-way bills in one go to reduce large amount of data entries and save time, provided that user has all the details in a JSON file format. Cancel e-way bill. It is used to cancel the e-way bill. Print e-way bill. It is used to take print out of the e-way bill. 2. Consolidated EWB. This option has following sub-options. Generate new. It is used to generate new consolidated e-way bill when the transporter has to ship multiple consignments in a single vehicle. Generate bulk. It is used to generate bulk consolidated e-way bill in one go, provided that user has all the details in a JSON file format. Regenerate. Using this option, user can update the transportation or vehicle number for the CEWB and regenerate the CEWB with updated information. Print consolidated EWB. It is used for taking the print out of the CEWB. 3. Reject. This option is used by the taxpayer to reject the e-way bills generated by others against his GSTN. 4. Reports. This option has following sub-options. A. My EWB reports. Outward supplies. It is used to view the list of all e-way bills generated by the user for outward supply on a particular date. It is to be noted here that e-way bills generated with both Part A and Part B updated will be shown under this report. E-way bills generated with only Part A updates will not be shown in the report. Inward supplies. It is used to view the list of all e-way bills generated by the user for inward supply on a particular date. CEWB generated by me. Using this option, a user can view the list of consolidated e-way bills generated by him on a particular date. Cancelled EWBs. It is used to view the list of all e-way bills cancelled by the user on a particular date. Rejected e-way bills by me. Using this option, a user view the list of all e-way bills generated by others against his GSTIN, but rejected by him on a particular date. Assigned for transporters. Using this option, a user can view all the e-way bills assigned by him for transporter on a particular date along with the respective status. Part A EWBs. This option is used to view the list of all the e-way bills generated by the user in a selected date range with Part A updated but Part B pending for the update. B. Others e-way bill reports. Generated by others. It is used to view the list of all the e-way bills generated by others against user GSTIN. Rejected e-way bills by others. It is used to view the list of all the e-way bills generated by the user for others but rejected by them. Assigned to me for transport. Using this option, a transporter can view the list of all the e-way bills assigned to him for transport by others. C. Master reports. My masters. Using this option, a user can view the list of masters created by him for clients, suppliers, transporters and products by selecting a particular category displayed on the screen. E-way bill masters. It is used to view the codes assigned to unit quantities along with their description and codes assigned to different states, UTs and other countries. D. Summary reports. Date-wise activities. Using this option, a user can view the list of all the e-way bills generated by him on a particular date with the respective status. My masters. This option is used to create masters of products, clients, suppliers and transporters, using which a user can auto-populate the product, clients, suppliers, and transporters details while generating an e-way bill. This option has following sub-options. Products. It is used to create masters for products. Clients. It is used to create masters for clients. Suppliers. It is used to create masters for suppliers. Transporters. It is used to create masters for transporters. Bulk upload. Using this option, a user can create bulk masters for product, client, supplier and transporter in one go time, provided that user has all the details in a JSON file format. 6. User management. This option helps the user to create and manage the sub-users in the e-way bill system. It has following sub-options. Create sub-user. It is used to create a sub-user and assign the required roles to him. Freeze sub-user. It is used to freeze the existing sub-user so that he cannot perform the related activities anymore in the e-way bill system. Update sub-user. It is used to update the details of the existing sub-user like mobile number, email ID, etc. Change password. Using this option, a user can change his existing password in the e-way bill system. 7. Registration. This option is used by the users to register themselves for generating the e-way bills and performing related activities through other modes, i.e. using SMS and mobile app. It also helped the users to register his GST Suvidha Providers, GSP, and for Application Processing Interface, API, in the e-way bill system. It has following sub-options. Register for SMS. Using this option, a user can register himself for using the e-way bill SMS facility for generating the e-way bill and performing related activities. Register for Android. Using this option, a user can register himself for using the e-way bill mobile app facility for generating the e-way bills and performing related activities. Register for GSP. Using this option, a user can register his GST Suvidha provider in e-way bill system. Register for API. Using option enables the user to request for API-based integration of e-way bill system. 8. Update. It has following sub-options. For transporter taxpayer, it is used by the user to update his existing registration status from taxpayer to transporter or vice versa to perform some role-based operations in the e-way bill system. My GST in from Common Portal. Using this, the user can update the e-way bill system with latest details of his legal name, trade name and business places from GSTN portal. 9. Grievance. Detention form, EWB04. User can use this option in case he wants to file a grievance against unauthorized detention of his vehicle. This section will help the taxpayer or transporter to understand the process of registration in the e-way bill system. In order to access the e-way bill system, the taxpayer or the transporter needs to first register on the e-way bill portal by opening the URL https://evoybills.gov.in. The registration process is very simple and requires GSTIN of the taxpayer or the transporter. Once the taxpayer or transporter opens the EWB URL, he has to click on Registration option provided on the home page and has to select e-way bill registration. The system will redirect the taxpayer to the e-way bill registration form where taxpayer will enter his GSTIN. And the CAPTCHA code that appears below this field. The system will then check the taxpayer GSTIN and show his details such as applicant name, trade name, address and mobile number as registered in GST portal. Taxpayer will verify these details by clicking on Send OTP and will receive one-time password on his mobile. He will then enter this OTP in the registration form. And on successful validation, the system prompts him to enter his choice of username and password. The username can be of 6 to 15 characters. Taxpayer has to enter the password, re-enter the same again for confirmation, and click on the Submit button. E-way bill system will then create the username and password for the taxpayer which he can use for login in the e-way bill portal. E-way bill system enables a transporter, who is not registered under the GST system, to enroll and generate e-way bill. In order to access the e-way bill system, The transporter needs to first enroll on the e-way bill portal by opening the URL https://evoybills.gov.in. The enrollment process requires PAN of the transporter. Once the transporter opens the EWB URL, he has to click on Registration option provided on the home page and has to select Enrollment for Transporters. The system will redirect the transporter to the enrollment application form where transporter will select his state from the list, enter his name, trade name and PAN. It is to be noted here that entered details must match with the transporter's PAN card. The transporter will then click on Validate, and the system will validate the entered details with PAN, and upon successful validation, system will allow transporter to proceed further and fill the enrollment application. Next, the transporter will update the subsequent sections of the application, i.e. type of enrollment, particulars of principal place of business, including address and contact information, nature of premises. After entering the mobile number, transporter will click Send OTP. The system will then send the OTP on mobile number entered by the transporter. On receiving the OTP, he will enter the same and click Verify OTP. Upon successful validation of OTP, transporter can proceed to next section of the application. Next, the transporter will upload the relevant documents for address proof and ID proof. And will enter his choice of username. The username can be of 6 to 15 characters. If the entered username does not exist in a system, transporter can enter the password of his choice. The transporter will now tick the verification box to affirm and declare that the details provided by him are true and correct to the best of his knowledge, and will click Save. System will enroll the transporter and create an enrollment ID which can be shared with the dealers for entering the transport details while generating the EWB. An acknowledgement slip is also displayed along with all the details, and transporter take the print of this acknowledgement slip for future reference. The transporter can now log in the e-way bill system using the username and password created by him. This section will help the taxpayer or transporter to understand the process of generating the e-way bill after successfully logging in the e-way bill system. To begin with, user has to select Generate New option under the e-way bill menu. the system will redirect the user to the e-way bill entry form. Please remember that all the fields marked as red are mandatory to fill by the user. Also, the GSTIN of the unregistered dealer is URP, which means unregistered person. Now, the user will select the transaction type as outward or inward and select the subtype accordingly. Next, the user will enter the document number and the document date. Please note that the document date should be a prior date to the date of e-way bill generation. In the next section of the form, consignor details, that is, bill from, and dispatch to, details will be auto-populated. However, the consignor address is editable. Next, the user has to enter the consignee details, that is, bill to, and ship to. If user has created a client master, he has to just type few characters of his client to get a drop-down list. Now, he can select the required name and the other details are auto-populated. Remember, this is possible only if user's client details are updated in the masters. If the goods are being delivered to a different address or state, then user has to change the recipient address details. Next, the user need to enter the items being delivered. If user has created a product master, he has to just enter 2 to 3 characters of the product name so that a list is displayed. Now, he has to choose the particular product and the rest of the fields such as HSN code, unit and tax are auto-populated by the system. Again, remember that this is possible only if user has created a product master. Otherwise, user can enter the fields manually as well. Now, the user has to enter the quantity and the taxable value. The tax is calculated automatically. For intrastate, CGST and SGST tax, and for interstate, IGST tax will be calculated. Next, the user will update the transportation details and enter the details, that is transporter name, transporter ID, and the approximate distance to be covered for shipment delivery. The distance decides the validity days of the EWBIE for the first 100 kilometers. The validity is 1 day, and subsequently for every 100 kilometers, the validity will be 1 day. For example, if user enters approximate distance as 250 kilometers, then the validity of e-way bill will be 3 days. Here it is to be noted that this example is applicable for regular vehicle type. In case the vehicle type is over-dimensional cargo, which will be covered in next part, the distance limit for deciding the validity is 20 kilometers instead of 100 kilometers. For example, if user enters approximate distance in ODC case as 125 kilometers, then the validity of e-way bill will be 7 days. This completes the part A of the e-way bill. Once user updates the part A, he has to update the EWB part B, which consists of mode of transportation, road, rail, air, or ship, vehicle type, regular, over-dimensional cargo, vehicle number, transporter dock number, and date. Please note that user can enter the vehicle number only in the formats specified in the vehicle number field. Once the user completes part B, he can preview the entire e-waybill entry form by clicking the preview button and can make corrections if required. Next, the user has to click on Submit button, and upon successful validation, the e-waybill system will generate a 12-digit e-waybill number with QR code. Here the user will also have the option to take the printout of the e-waybill. Remember that the e-waybill is valid only if the vehicle number is updated by the taxpayer or the transporter, and the validity starts from the day when the vehicle number is updated. Please also remember that the e-waybill once generated cannot be deleted. However, it can be cancelled by the generator within 24 hours of generation. If it has been verified by any empowered officer, then it cannot be cancelled. This section will help the taxpayer or transporter to understand the process of updating the vehicle number of the e-waybill, if it was not entered while generating e-waybill or vehicle has been changed for moved goods because of various reasons like transit movement, vehicle breakdown, etc. To update the vehicle number against an e-waybill, either the user should be the generator of the e-waybill or a transporter. To start, user need to log in with his login credentials in the e-waybill portal and has to select Update Part B Vehicle option under the e-waybill menu. The system will redirect the user to the Update Vehicle Number form. The e-waybill system then provides two options for the user to get the details of e-waybill for which he wants to update the vehicle number, that is, user can enter either the e-waybill number or enter the e-waybill generated date. If the user enters the e-waybill number and click Go, system will directly display the selected e-waybill details. However, if user selects the date option, the system will first display the list of all the e-waybills generated by the user on that date, and he has to then select the e-waybill from the list for which he wants to update the vehicle number. After selecting any of the options, system displays the Update Vehicle Number form and auto-populate the from GSTIN and to GSTIN along with respective place information for each. Next, the user needs to select the mode of transport, enter the vehicle number in specified format, and enter the place of change. The user has to also select the reason for which the vehicle is being changed. Here it is to be noted that if the mode of transportation is rail, air, or ship, then the user needs to enter the RR number and date instead of the vehicle number. Once a request for updating of vehicle number is submitted, the system validates the entered values and the particular e-waybill will be updated with the new vehicle number. This section will help the taxpayer or transporter to understand the process of cancelling the e-waybill for various reasons like goods are not being moved, incorrect entry in the e-waybill by the user, etc. Please remember that only the generator of the e-waybill can cancel the same. Also, the e-waybill can be cancelled only within 24 hours after its generation. If it has been verified by any empowered officer, then it cannot be cancelled. To start, user has to select Cancel option under the e-way bill menu. The system will redirect the user to the Cancel e-way bill form. The user has to then enter the 12-digit e-way bill number and click Go. The system will display the details of the e-way bill and after giving a suitable reason and remarks for the cancellation of e-way bill, the user can cancel the e-way bill. This section will help the taxpayer or transporter to understand the process of generating the new consolidated e-way bill when the transporter wants to ship multiple consignments in a single vehicle. Consolidated e-way bill allows the transporter to carry a single document, instead of a separate document for each consignment in a conveyance. To begin with, user has to select Generate New option under the Consolidated EWB menu. The system will redirect the user to the consolidated e-way bill entry form. Here the user has to select the mode of transport from the displayed options, that is road, rail, air or ship. Next, the user has to enter the details based on the transportation mode selected. For road transportation, from state, vehicle starts from and vehicle number in the specified format. For rail transportation, from state, vehicle starts from an RR number and date. For air transportation, from state, vehicle starts from an airway bill number and date. For ship transportation, from state, vehicle starts from an bill of lading number and date. Then the user needs to enter all the e-way bills, one by one, and the system shows the details of these e-way bills as line items when the user press Add button after completing each e-way bill entry. On click of Submit button, system will generate a consolidated e-way bill with 10-digit consolidated e-way bill number and a common vehicle number in case of road transportation. In case of other modes of transportation, system will generate the consolidated e-way bill with respective document numbers and dates. Here the user will also have the option to take the printout of the consolidated e-way bill. This section will help the taxpayer to understand the process of rejecting the e-way bill generated by others against his GSTIN. If he is not getting the consignment mentioned in the e-way bill or someone has wrongly generated the e-way bill with his GSTIN as recipient. Please remember that the generator of the e-way bill cannot reject the same. Also, the e-way bill can be rejected only within 72 hours after its generation. To start, user has to select Reject option under the main menu. The system will redirect the user to the Reject e-way bill form. The user has to then enter the date of e-way bill generation and click Submit. Next, the system will show the list of all the e-way bills generated against his on GSTIN. The user has to then select and tick the Reject button against the e-way bills which he wants to reject. Then click on the Reject button. Selected e-way bill will be marked as rejected and system shows a success message. E-way bill system provides the facility for the user to update the existing transporter against a particular e-way bill. Please note here that only generator and transporter of e-way bill can update the transporter details. Also, generator can update the transporter details only if the transporter has not updated the Part B of e-way bill. To start, user need to log in with his login credentials in the e-way bill portal and has to select Update EWB Transporter option under the e-way bill menu. The system will redirect the user to the Update Transporter Details page. The user has to then enter the 12-digit e-way bill number and click Go. The system will then display the details of the e-way bill in read-only mode, which means that the user will not be able to make any changes in the displayed e-way bill details except transporter details. Next, the user will enter the transporter ID and the system will auto-populate the transporter name. User will then click Submit button. If entered details are correct, the system will generate the updated e-way bill with updated transporter details. In e-way bill system, provision has been also provided to the generator and transporter to extend the validity of e-way bill if the consignment is not expected to reach the destination before the expiry of the validity of e-way bill due to some reasons. Please remember that only the generator or present transporter of the e-way bill can extend the validity of e-way bill. Also, the validity can be extended only 8 hours before or 8 hours after the existing validity time of e-way bill. To start, user has to select Extend Validity option under the e-way bill menu. The system will redirect the user to the e-way bill validity extension form. The user has to then enter the 12-digit e-way bill number and click Go. The system will then display the details of the e-way bill in read-only mode, which means that the user will not be able to make any changes in the displayed e-way bill details on the screen. The user has to then select Yes option against the e-way bill extension field. Next, the system will display the transportation details Part B and auto-populate the existing e-way bill validity date. The user has to then select the reason for extension and enter the appropriate remarks supporting the reason for extension. Next, the user has to enter the From Place, the place till where the consignment has reached and from where the extension is required. User needs to then enter the approximate distance in kilometer. To reach the destination, mode of transport, vehicle type, vehicle number. After this, user will enter the transporter document number and date in case of road, RR number and date in case of rail, airway bill number and date in case of air, and bill loading date and number in case of ship. Next, on clicking the Submit button, the e-way bill system checks whether all the mandatory fields are entered, and if all the validations are correct, then system generates the revised e-way bill showing the extension entry in the history table. Here the user will have the option to print the e-way bill and also to print the detailed e-way bill. E-way bill system also allows the user to move the goods in multiple vehicles using a single e-way bill. However, it is to be noted here that the sum total of quantities to be moved in individual vehicles cannot exceed the overall quantity to be shipped. To start, User need to log in with his login credentials in the e-way-bill portal and has to select Change to Multi-Vehicle option under the e-way-bill menu. The system will redirect the user to the Multi-Vehicle Update form. The user has to then enter the 12-digit e-way-bill number and click Go. System displays the main source and destination details of entered e-way-bill and provides option to move to multi-vehicle. User has to then select Yes option and system displays multiple vehicle movement details section. The user will then enter mode of transport. From end to place, quantity and other details. And click Submit. System will display the message that multi-vehicle updated successfully. When user will click OK, he will be redirected to the main menu screen where the user opens the Update Part B vehicle option under e-way-bill menu and enters the selected e-way-bill number. User has to select the relevant group and system opens the new vehicle entry form where user enters the required details in Update Part B section. And clicks Submit. System will then update the vehicle details and displays the same in print e-way-bill screen with multi-vehicle status. User has to click New Vehicle Entry and repeat the same steps till total quantity is loaded. Next, the system updates and displays the details of all vehicles as different groups, from place to place. The system changes the e-way-bill details to multi-vehicle movement and user can take the print using the print option. It is to be noted here that the sum total of quantities to be moved in individual vehicles cannot exceed the overall quantity to be shipped. E-way-bill system also enables a citizen, who is not registered under the GST system, to generate the e-way-bill. In order to access the e-way-bill options provided to the citizen, he has to first open the EWB portal by opening the URL https://ewaybills.gov.in. Once the citizen opens the EWB URL, he has to click on Registration option provided on the home page and has to select e-way-bill for citizens. The system will redirect the citizen to the e-way-bill citizen page with 4 options: generate new EWB, update vehicle for generated EWB, print EWB and cancel EWB. In order to generate new EWB, citizen has to click on Generate New EWB option and has to select his state from the list. Enter his name, and PAN. The citizen will then update the address section and contact details. After entering the mobile number, he will click Send OTP. The system will then send the OTP on mobile number entered by the citizen. On receiving the OTP, he will enter the same and click Verify OTP. Upon successful validation of OTP, citizen can proceed to next section of the application. The citizen will now tick the verification box to affirm and declare that the details provided by him are true and correct to the best of his knowledge and will click Continue to bill generation. Next, the system opens the e-way bill entry form where user enters the transaction details. Item details. Part B details as explained in Generate New EWB presentation. And clicks Submit. System generates a e-way bill with 12-digit unique e-way bill number. In the same manner, citizen can update vehicle details and cancel the EWB using the respective options provided for these. Citizen can also take the printout of the EWB by using print option provided on this screen. E-way bill system provides a facility of generating a new password in case the user has forgotten or lost his e-way bill login password. For using this feature, once the taxpayer or transporter opens the e-way bill URL, he has to click on Login option provided on the home page and has to click on Forgot Password option provided in the login screen. The system will then redirect the user to the Forgot Password page where he has to enter his e-way bill username, GSTIN or transporter ID. ID and mobile number registered in the e-way bill system. The user will then enter the CAPTCHA code displayed on the screen and will click Go. E-way bill system will validate the details entered by the user, and if all the details are correct, it will send a new password on the user's registered mobile number, using which he can log in the e-way bill portal. It is to be noted here that if the entered details by the user do not match with details in GST Common Portal, then user has to use Update from GST Common Portal option, which the system will display if the user enters the mobile number which is different from his mobile number in GST portal. E-way bill system also provides a facility to transporter for retrieving his transporter ID in case he has forgotten or lost his e-way bill login transporter ID. For using this feature, once the transporter opens the e-way bill URL, he has to click on Login option provided on the home page and has to click on Forgot Trans ID option provided in the login screen. The system will then redirect the transporter to the Forgot Transporter ID page, where he has to select his state, enter the PAN and the CAPTCHA code displayed on the screen. Transporter has to then click on Send OTP button, and e-way bill system will send the OTP to transporter's registered mobile number. Transporter has to then enter the OTP received in the OTP field provided on the screen and has to click Go. E-way bill system will then validate the details entered by the transporter, and if all the details are correct, it will display the transporter ID, using which he can log in the e-way bill portal. E-way bill system provides a facility to taxpayer for retrieving his username in case the user has forgotten or lost his e-way bill login username. For using this feature, once the taxpayer or transporter opens the e-way bill URL, he has to click on Login option provided on the home page and has to click on Forgot Username option provided in the login screen. The system will then redirect the taxpayer to the Forgot Username page, where he has to enter his GSTIN or transporter ID. And mobile number registered in the e-way bill system. The user will then enter the CAPTCHA code displayed on the screen and will click Go. E-way bill system will then validate the details entered by the user, and if all the details are correct, it will send the username on the user's registered mobile number, using which he can log in the e-way bill portal. It is to be noted here that if the entered details by the user do not match with details in GST Common Portal, then user has to use Update GST Common Portal option, which the system will display if the user enters the mobile number which is different from his mobile number in GST portal.